What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today is the day we try to get the transmission and engine mated together, and I also got to wire up the 96 Harness to work with the 98-01 engine, which usually if you have like a later model 96, it goes a lot smoother, but this one for some odd reason is still OBD1, so we're gonna have to do all the plugs and stuff just like we did on the CB7 before we can get this thing finalized. But it's no big deal. I've showed you 1,000 times, and I'm gonna go through it step by step again this time, just in case you're having trouble with it or something. But it's really pretty simple. Before we get started with that, I do have one hurdle that I have to try to jump over before I'm pretty damn good as far as this swap goes. The transmission that Jeff gave me, it has, so okay, I know I talk a lot, but look back history on the transmissions for Accords from 90 all the way to 2002. If you have a 5-speed, it will fit any model from 94 all the way to 02. 90 through 93, the actual casing on the transmission did not have the right bolts, the bolt holes yet for the 94 to 2002. So you can't, there's no way you can use it. But the 95 and the 94 and up to 2002 can be reverted back to work with the 90 through 93. So that's good, you know, because the older cars are getting more rare, so you can use a CG transmission in the 90 through 93. There's just a couple of the transmission bolt holes that use the mount on the transmission side. You have to change them around. This is the Prelude transmission. And so if you look right here, you can see these are the three that Jeff needed. This stud, this stud, this stud. Well, on the 95, 94, 95 and up, they need this one, and this one. And on the older transmissions, they don't have, I'm thinking it's this one. On the 90 through 93, they don't have this rear like section at all. Like, it's just not there. It only has these up here. So that's why I said, like, you can't revert back from, you can't go up from 90 through 93 to a 98 or something like that, but you can go backwards from anywhere from 94 to 2002 all the way to 90 through 93, if that makes sense. But yeah, so what we have to do now is try to use my good old Harbor Freight extractor bit set. Hopefully we can get these bolts out. Jeff did break it off with a little bit of, like, it's still a little bit of thread showing. I don't know if you could get a grip on that with vice grips or not. Also possibly could use the grinder and just cut like 2 flat sides and maybe use like a wrench to try to get it off. I don't know if that will work either, but the extractor bit is supposed to be for this type of stuff, so I think that's going to be my first option. This is the F22 Harness that came out of the car, and what I'm going to do is open up, take all of this plastic shit off that I guess it holds it into place in the engine bay. I'm gonna take all of this shit off so that we can expose what we need to work on. So here we are, guys. Got the harness pretty much laid out on the engine. Super, like, guys, if you took it off the old motor, you can definitely put it back on the new motor. The F23 especially is, man, it's just like a freaking F22. Just like it. The H, the only difference is like, it's such a slightly bigger motor that some of the sensors are a little bit changed around, especially with the the way the head is shaped. But it'll still work, guys. It'll work just fine. And yeah, super simple. I got everything wrapped around. I usually start with the alternator setup because we know where that goes. And then you can come across the little bridge here over the valve cover. And then boom, that sensor we talked about in the last video plugs right up. This engine is just like the one that was in here, so it ran off that same sensor. But again, if you get a distributor with the sensor in it, you don't need that sensor, so it'll just, the plug will just be sitting over there, but you won't need it. So yeah, we got that plugged in, we wrapped it around under the bottom, got the oil pressure sensor plugged in. This harness does not have a knock sensor plug for it, so we don't have to worry about that. If it did, because we're tuning it, I always turn it off. I don't want to know my motor's knocking until it's just blown the fuck up. I don't care about knock like that. So, and James can monitor that while he tunes it, so he'll know if it's off or not. But yeah, so we got the oil pressure plugged up, wrapped it around over here. Super simple. A lot of these sensors are on the transmission, so they're just hanging down here. So we got this far, all right? Now, the only difference between OBD1 and OBD2, as far as the 95 to the like 97 and up, the only difference is the injectors, guys. There are other stuff if you want to retain the outer air control valve, that's different as well on the newer stuff. So we'll have to wire that, but me, I don't ever really keep it. I just auto my car up to about, I don't know, maybe 1200 or so. And that keeps it where I can use air. I don't have to worry about it stalling out. And here is the OBD1 wiring harness here. As you can see, I already cut all the injectors off, where the plug's off. I put one up here so you can see the difference in case you've never saw one before. You can see the difference. Here's a OBD1 injector plug. So to wire these in, all you have to do is match the wire that has the same color across the board with the wire that has the same color across the board on the harness. Okay, it sounds complicated, it's not. For some reason they changed the color between OBD1 and OBD2, but it stays the same in the terms of it's got the black stripe on it. So here are all the OBD2 pigtails. As you can see, there's a yellow wire with a black stripe on every one of them. See that? They're all on the same side. They're all on the left side there. This one's a little funky for you because it's got two yellow wires, but remember, it's got the black stripe. See that black stripe on the left side? Same thing with this one. When you lay them out the same exact way, see, it's got that yellow wire with the black stripe all the way across on the left side. Those will match up with the red wire with the black stripe on the OBD1 harness. So all the way across the board, focus, but all the way across the board you can see there's a red wire with a black stripe. That goes for every one. And this is the same thing like we talked about with the yellow one. This one has two red wires, but remember, just find the one with the black stripe and that'll match right up. Black stripe, black stripe. And what you're gonna wanna do is match the yellow stripe, the yellow with the black stripe to the red with the black stripe all the way across. And the other part is color matched. So you got a brown, you got a red, you got a yellow, you got a blue. You got a brown, you got a red, you got a blue, and you got a yellow. Just match the colors. That's simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right quick, and this injector setup will be finished. So it's really that simple, guys. I'm telling you, if you get to this point, just keep running this video back. All the ones with the black stripe go with all the ones with the black stripe. And the other ones, you can just simply match the colors right up. Brown, red, blue, yellow. Brown, red, blue, yellow. Just match them up. I'm telling you, it's that freaking simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this knocked out. Alright guys, so here is the engine. It is pretty much ready to go. I went ahead off camera and got these bolts, these bolt holes right here tapped out, and they're ready. I got some fresh 10-1.5 bolts ready to go in these. So everything's good there, thank God. So we're clear. That was my biggest hurdle that I needed to get knocked out. Also, you already seen we got the injectors wired up. We got the new light flywheel in. I did use some red Loctite on those bolts, and then I torqued the pressure plate bolts down to 19 foot-pounds. And really, I think all that's left to put on before we stick this thing in the engine bay is we need to do the clutch line, and I need to do the half shaft and the rear T-bracket. And that should be pretty much everything ready to go. Also off camera, I went ahead and got all the brackets on for power steering and AC and all that stuff. So that's good to go. And yeah guys, this thing is looking really good, man. Again, we are running this header, but I do got the actual cover for the header that I painted satin black. So this should look pretty damn good in there, at least until we can figure out a header. But in the time being, guys, I'm just gonna run it with the stock unit just for the sake of time and keeping things moving. Because again, we only got, really, today's Sunday, we really only got this week to get this thing up and running, because I really wanna check it. Like, I wanna try to drive it down the road, you know how we do, and just see, make sure it shifts through the gears right, make sure that it's pretty much only lacking a tune. That way, when we go to James, it's not like a bunch of stuff that we gotta fix. We can just throw it on the dyno, tune it, and yeah, we should be good. So yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can get the other little things put on: slave cylinder, the half shaft, and the T-bracket, and see if we can get this thing ready to go in the car. gang. Engine is in the car, boys. Engine is in the freaking car, and everything looks good so far. Now, I showed in a clip before, I did do the homemade polyurethane mounts on this one. Now, this time I didn't use the window weld or whatever I used last time from 3M. This time I actually used the construction adhesive. They say that that's a really strong setup there. So I'm just testing stuff out. It was only $7 for one tube, and that one tube did all 3 engine mounts. So everything looks good. It probably would have been even better if I had done the front mount, but I may do it, I may not. I mean, again, this is not going to be a crazy horsepower car, at least not right now. So it should be a lot better than just some basic eBay mounts that you buy. Should be a little bit stiffer than that, which is all I'm looking for here. But yeah, I got all 3 mounts in. You can see the fresh bolts there for the transmission, and then the one that was already good. Got all of that looking beautiful. Got all the mounts tight. So now really all there is to do is start connecting all the rest of the stuff back up and see if we can get a test fire on this thing, which I'm really just gonna save that for next video, because hopefully everything goes well and we can actually start this thing as well as try to test drive it. So with that being said, guys, I am gonna wrap this video up here. I hope you guys are enjoying the CD5 content. I hope that the wiring stuff does not scare you now. Hopefully you've seen that I did the injectors and stuff. That's pretty much all there is to it. One thing I did do off camera is extend my intake air temp one, which is just the one over here on the intake manifold. I just extended it. It's 2 wires. It was like right here on the old motor, and it needed to be extended around to here. Simple 2-wire setup, and that's good to go. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This thing is ready to rock and roll. I'm excited. I hope y'all are excited. But again, guys, I will catch y'all in the next one, where hopefully we can get this first start out the way. Hopefully she's not knocking or anything crazy like that. Hopefully it's just a healthy engine ready to drive. So yeah, with that being said, I will catch y'all next time. Remember, guys, like, share, subscribe, and respect all bills. Peace out.